Okay, agenda item number 13 is something that's popped up in the last month or so, and according to council policy must come before council. Ariel, welcome. Miss King, sorry, Ariel.
Mrs, not Miss.
Of course you're Mrs. You've just had a lovely baby a while ago. Sorry about that, Mrs. Or was it, or do you allowed to say Mrs, is that correct?
Yes, but I'll actually take this item if you like.
Okay. Okay, well, Miss McLeod, Deputy Chief, I'll get this right, Deputy Chief Executive. Miss McLeod, would you like to lead us on this scenic sojourn?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. And the reason why I'm taking over from Mrs. King is because she has just returned from maternity leave, and it'd be a little unfair to kind of spring this item on her, given that this is her first week back. And
Second.
Okay, so we've had an extraordinary opportunity, basically to get in front of about 74,000 at least minimum keen rugby fans and promote purely this district. That opportunity came to us through a visit that was made to us by the manager of the Welsh team, who made an extraordinary offer to get us in front of the Six Nations match between Wales and England on the 4th of February. And that opportunity has opened up other opportunities to get in front of quite a lot of British and Welsh and Irish sporting media to promote this district. So it's an opportunity that's being made to us and not to any other part of the country. So given that, we thought that it was important that we did the planning and took the chances and have brought this in front of you for your approval. Basically what we're looking for is sufficient funding to cover airfares. So there may be some incidentals involved with this, but we're suggesting that the ballpark figure needs to be 25,000. But the return that we would get from this investment will be enormous in terms of the media opportunities. We simply couldn't buy that type of advertising. So that's what's being suggested here. The original offer was originally made to the Deputy Mayor and our events manager, Warwick Hall, but it would, by involving Colin Meads, who's very graciously said that he'd be prepared to support us in this, we've just opened a whole range of other doors, because the Welsh and the Irish are certainly see Sir Colin as being very much a rugby icon, and we've already had a lot of media basically saying that they want to take the chance to interview him, and so he's kind of a door to media over there. So that's basically what the item's about.
Well, if I could just carry on from there. Firstly, I think I'm probably a little bit jealous because that night I couldn't go, so I asked my deputy to go to dinner. But let's be serious about this. When that offer was made, it is a very generous offer. It's been made by very high-powered people in both Wales and Ireland. Sir Colin Meads has agreed to go because he is the ambassador for Taupo for Rugby World Cup, free of charge. You could mention anything around the world and people probably wouldn't know what you're talking about, but if you say Pine Tree Meads, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. They're going to put a 2 or 3 minute, apparently, DVD on the big screen at Cardiff Arms where there's 50,000 people on, sorry? 74,000, but sold out. I thought it was 54. Okay, 74,000 people. Sir Colin Meads will be there. They're going to a lot of radio stations, and of course the press over there are just eating it up. To have Sir Colin Meads there is really, really big deal in Ireland and Wales. And it's a big deal for us because Sir Colin is very, very focused on going there simply to promote Taupo for Rugby World Cup. So all you Irish and Welsh people, come to Taupo, this is the best place to stay, etc., etc. When you put into context that $25,000 into context with, that's probably about 2 ads on TV. So I think we're getting a real good bang for the buck here, and I personally wish them all the well, but it is council policy that no overseas travel and things like that can happen without the blessing of the council. So Would you like to add to that, Councillor Downer?
Yeah. Sorry, this has come quite late, but it just happened before Christmas and with the Christmas break. But this offer was given only to Taupo District, not to any other New Zealand town. And I think it goes wider than the Rugby World Cup. It goes promoting Taupo as a district. They are providing all accommodation, meals over there. Colin Meads is providing his time, freer time, which is a huge gesture from Sir Colin Meads. So virtually it's just the airfares over there. This is in the new Millennium Stadium. It's the first Six Nations game, Wales against England, which was sold out before Christmas. So with also it being the Rugby World Cup year, there's a lot of emphasis on the Six Nations. There's BBC want interviews with Colin Meads. There's the International Rugby Channel out of Wales, England and Ireland that's broadcasted all around there that's having interviews. There's another TV channel as well. And also Alan Phillips has advocated with the Irish for then after the Six Nations England against Wales for Sir Colin Meads and us to head up to Dublin in Ireland for the second Six Nations team, which is against Irish and France. So that's another huge coup if we can get to present to those people our Taupo district. We're looking at 25,000 people confirmed coming from Europe to the Rugby World Cup, and 85,000 internationally. So I think it gives a great chance for a small cost to promote Taupo not only for the Rugby World Cup but internationally. When you compare it to like how much we invest into Ironman and we get media coverage, but this is at the ground roots level where we can hit these people and showcase our region. So that's all.
I think also just to put a bit of clarity around it, there will be 3 people travelling if it's approved here today. David Tuavis is the chairperson of King Country Rugby, and he's travelling at his own expense totally. That's how committed he is and going to it. So anything further? Councillor Minsher.
And Mike, it's too short a notice obviously to probably build more marketing around it. For example, like match programs and things like that. It'd be nice to be part of that to really add to the whole thing if it was approved. It's obviously too short a window for anything like that to build on the presence or newspaper advertising or budget for that sort of thing. Like the First Nation like Taupo, that's in such a short time frame.
I mean, for a match.
Well, to build on the marketing of the whole thing, I mean, obviously if it was in a match program, advertising for Taupo, things like that.
I think Alan's already organised that, Alan Phillips over there. Destination Lake Taupo will be providing the DVD that will be going on the big screen. Apart from that, all the television networks over there have been organised by Alan Phillips, the Welsh manager.
Basically, the whole time on the ground over there, he's in radio stations, TV stations. Sir Colin Meads, it's so big, it's like...
Just to put it in perspective, sorry, Mayor Rick, is that Martin Snedden rang me and asked to have a meeting with me because he'd heard it through the grapevine because it's been such a short time, and he asked to have a meeting with me. And he's absolutely ecstatic that this is happening. He's actually organising some media coverage over there in London if we can fit it in through the Rugby World Cup, because he thinks it's not only a great promotion for the Taupo district, but it's also a promotion for the Rugby World Cup as well. And he said it's mainly because Sir Colin Meads is going over there. He's got a huge following around the world in the rugby circles, so that's why the media over there are in a bit of a frenzy.
Councillor Kirk?
Just on 13(1) under the financial considerations, at Destination Great Lake Taupo may be able to provide some financial assistance. Confirmation is expected in the near future. Has there been any update on that? On being able to contribute?
No, there isn't. They're certainly helping with putting together the DVD and other works, but one of the issues here is because it happened so late in the year, the board hasn't had the opportunity to meet, so therefore they haven't had the opportunity to consider that as well. But certainly the request has been put on there.
Councillor Williams?
Mike, I'd just think what a fantastic opportunity, and a once in a lifetime chance to do a generic promotion for our region. But I just remember the disappointment we had with the A1GP when we had all that television coverage, but there was never a call to action. And I just wondered, what you and Sir Colin and David might be able to do to actually get them to sign the dotted line and buy their tickets out here, rather than just talk rugby and the big picture stuff. How could you actually make them?
I think the difference between the A1GP and this offer that's on the table now is that it's actually physically being done at ground level, promotion to 75,000 people. It's being physically done by Taupo icons, as in Sir Colin Meads, or New Zealand icons, or rugby legends that people relate back to Taupo. You couldn't, I don't think, as I mentioned before, the Ironman or the A1GP, even though that showcases Taupo in an international market, I think this marketing that could be done over there to benefit our district, you just couldn't get that. You couldn't get that offer to be put in front of 75,000 people in the stadium, but also be on international news, TV and stuff like that at a ground level where someone's interviewing someone and promoting Taupo.
No, I totally get that. I just would just hope that you were able to maybe have some tools with you, marketing tools with you, to distribute or some web-based data or information that you can distribute, so that to really encourage people to come.
I think Rob mentioned that at the meeting this morning with the long-term plan, about the German market. What's being done over in that market when 80% of his customers are German. Well, I do believe that, when you hit something at the ground level and talking to people and they see stuff and they're actually listening, you can have generic brochures and DVDs and stuff like that go into holiday homes. But when someone's sitting there and actually you've got that space where they're actually focusing on something, or on TV where someone, unique's coming on, like Sir Kindtree, it's on the rugby channel, and, millions of people around Europe are watching it. That's when you get that, in-depth marketing that can happen. Or that's what I believe anyway.
Before this actually came to council, I had a telephone conference with Rob and Councillor Downard, etc., with them on Ireland. Hey, this is so great. They've even said that there's a half-hour football show on every Sunday after the Saturday nights, and it will be completely with Mike and Pinetree Meads. The whole 30 minutes will be. There's thousands of people watch that TV program, so there's a very little. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, $25,000, but that's the sort of money it costs to fly around the world nowadays. And let me assure you, Councillor Downard's not in first class or business class. So before anybody bothers to ask, I've seen the ticket. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's one we can't really miss. But when you think about A1GP, and people can say it was a success, and some people can say it was a failure, there is no way of knowing that American couple walking down Hoo Street, walking towards you, didn't come to New Zealand because they were watching the A1GP on TV or Ironman and saw the lake and the mountains behind and decided, let's go to Taupo. There is no way to measure it.
No, I'm sorry, please don't misunderstand me, Your Worship. There's absolutely no question that I think it's a wonderful opportunity. It's just like, can we actually maximise the opportunity and make the very most of it with regard to visitor numbers?
I've got three, or maybe four. Ms McLeod.
Perhaps if I could answer off some of Councillor Williams' concerns. One of the things that Destination Great Lake Taupo have been working on is the DVB, but also the call to action. That you're absolutely right in identifying that's something that needs to actually come out of the material that's put together to support the proposal here. So certainly the staff are working on those things. So thank you.
Okay, Councillor Minch, then Councillor Henderson, then Councillor Craig.
Yeah, just concerned, it's an opportunity, but almost an opportunity lost, because if we don't hit them with the other things rather than just around. I mean, I'm not being rude. It's like the newspapers yesterday's fish and chips, it's today's fish and chips and things like that. And TV's quickly forgotten, but it's just that if we had more time and preparation, it'd be great to, imagine at the same time everyone in the stadium could enter something to come to Taupo, win a trip to Taupo. That sort of issues that we can time to work on, that would really put more weight behind the whole, grow the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think we're trying to sort of put more weight behind it.
Well, just following on from what I've said, we haven't made the assumption that this is going to happen, but rather we've been working on it so that as soon as we found out, we've continued to work on this, knowing that it still had to come up in front of you, and knowing that we had a very short period of time.
Very difficult when these things happen, because we didn't have a council meeting to come to, so we're sort of, So, Councillor Henderson.
Usually I'd probably go through this report and pick the eyes out of it on behalf of the ratepayer and say what vast amount of media coverage and yet to be confirmed promotional channels are we talking about. But my thinking on it sort of swings on the Sir Pine Tree thing. At the end of the day, if for 25,000 you can get Colin Meads over in the UK promoting you, that is an exceptionally good opportunity. So I tend to support it. There's a couple of provisos I'd put with that, though. One would be, like Nicola was talking about, it's important we try and commercialise the opportunities out of it. So I'm glad to hear that the economic development people are involved. And the last thing was just to put it in context in terms of the expenditure. Much as I'll support it and vote for it, I think it's a great opportunity. It's $25,000. That is the Turangi-Tongariro Community Board's entire promotional budget for promoting the southern end of the lake each year. Okay? So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I think it's a great opportunity. Go for it.
And just to add to that, I think the focus needs to be put in, I think it has been put, that Sir Colin is going out there to promote this as a district, not just Taupo. In fact, I think the DVD they're going to show, the 3-minute DVD before the game, is that DVD where it comes from the moon and it comes down on the biggest lake in the southern hemisphere, and then all of what the district has to offer, from Tongariro crossings to trout fishing to river rafting. The whole gambit is there, because those people coming out here not just coming out to watch a game of rugby, they're coming out here to drink, be happy, and do all the touristy things too. And we are a visitor destination, so I hope that the whole district gets benefit from it, and I'm sure they will, because I think there can be a lot of people wandering around this district. I hope I'm not overselling it, but we're in a bit of a tricky situation here in council, because if we oversell it and we don't get much, we look silly. If we undersell it and don't get ready and prepare for it, and we get masses here, it's a fine balance to get this Rugby World Cup right. And the experts are telling us, they're saying, council, it's a 6-week period, but it'll start a week before that 6 weeks, and it'll finish a week after the last game. So it's actually an 8-week period. There'll still be people here a week or 10 days after that last game is played on 26th of October or whatever the date is. There'll be still people, getting ready to go home and taking their camper vans back and doing whatever they do. Or they might be here for another week to purely do the visitor industry thing after they've come to watch their favourite passioned rugby. So it's an 8 or 9 week period window. It's a big window in there, and we want all those people to go home, say, wow, that was a great place, and then maybe their friends will come back here the next year or something, just simply to visit us, So, did I have another hand up, or did Councillor Craig?
Just mention one thing. I don't know if anyone in the chamber's been to Arms Park or Millennium Stadium, but the atmosphere in that stadium cannot be repeated anywhere in the world. I don't think. It's just amazing. I was there for 4 years of my life and went there a few times. There's two things about the atmosphere in that stadium. One is the Welsh sing, and I think Rob will agree with me here. It's the one expression there ever is for Welsh nationalism, is when they play rugby, especially in South Wales. And just as a little side issue, it would be good if we could include something in the Welsh language on our DVD, because that would have some impact, I can assure you, if it was written on there. Same as if someone came here and put something in our tangata whenua language. So that's just my little views, but it's a fantastic atmosphere. Rob, have you been there?
I certainly have. When you have a father that was born in a Clanfawpeth Gingeth Gwyntrobwyth go Gereth Transliach Gogogoch, you know all about Wales.
I know the point.
He rests his case.
Answer my question.
Could you do it again?
I think Clanfawpeth Gingeth Gwyntrobwyth go Gereth Transliach Gogogoch. I think Mike's only problem is he will have to sing to the crowd rather than talk to the crowd. But yes, it's a wonderful opportunity, and just on that latter point that you made, we do actually have contacts with Welsh-speaking locals, and they will be able to help if they're not already helping with the DVD production.
There you are, Mike. Another language to learn.
Okay, Councillor Kirk.
I just think that we need to sort of, I support this as well, and it is a shame about the lead-in time, but I think we need to, especially in this current economic environment, is look at it as unbudgeted investment rather than an expenditure, because marketing to me is more of an investment than it is an expense. So yeah, just my 2 cents worth.
Cool. All good. Okay, well, there's a suggested resolution there, and it is listed 1, 2 and 3, and I think if somebody would like to move it en masse, in other words, move the motion 1, 2 and 3, because they're all necessary to abide by our policies and what have you of council. Do I have a mover, please? So moved, Councillor Henderson, which is the suggested resolution numbered 1, 2 and 3. And do I have a seconder, please? Seconded, Councillor Kirk. All those in favour? Aye, so carried. And wish you all the best, Councillor Downard. And as I said, I think it's an absolute coup to have Sir Colin Meads, and he doesn't even like to be called Sir Colin. He's told me that. He got told off once. Paid to do this. Yeah, sure, we're paying for the flights, but otherwise it's just for the love of the country and the love of the game. And I think the same could be said also to ex-Deputy Mayor David Chuavas, who, as I've said before, and I repeat it again, under his own expense is going along to help Councillor Downard and Sir Colin Meads represent Taupo and bring as much glory as they can to us. So great, thank you very much.